Hi everyone, my name is Yinka-Ojo Favour, a 400 level student of the University of Lagos Sociology Department, Faculty of Social Sciences. And when Fred reached out to me concerning this event, this program, I was so excited because I'm like, okay, because I have the opportunity to talk to other young people like myself and share some tips of how I've been able to maneuver myself alongside academics. So as you may know, you may not know, you may know, I'm into events as well as I own a startup agency, that's Oshun Agency, and I do a couple of other things, volunteering, I'm a Red Cross member, I'm into almost everything you can think of. And yes, I may not be on the first class, but my grades are not so bad, and I am currently on a 4 point. So yes, I will be helping you to answer some questions on how I've been able to navigate myself through academic life and also do other things, and I'm not affected in any way. So for me, how do I attend classes and reading? I would say for me, my very first point of knowledge will be from the lecturer. I do not miss classes at all. I don't joke with my classes. I make sure that I go for classes because I get more of my knowledge from my lecturer. Once I attend class and I listen in class and I grab what the lecturer is saying, it's always very easy for me when I'm reading. So once I'm trying to read what I have done during the day, it's quite easy because all I can think of is what the lecturer said, and then I'm relating it, and then it's just so easy for me. And so I don't joke with my lectures at all. No matter what, I always make sure that whatever I have to do, whatever other things I have to do, I make sure that my lectures are not lagging behind. So even if I'm going to miss any lecture, it will be that thing is so important, very important, and I cannot miss it. That's why I'm going to miss the lecture. So I make sure that I attend classes because let me say 70% of my knowledge comes from whatever the lecturer says. That's the lecture. 70% of my knowledge comes from lecture. And yes, how have I been able to cope with reading as well? For me, because I'm always busy during the day, I read at night. I enjoy reading at night because I'm busy during the day doing other things. I'm making money, and just because I'm into a lot of things, politics, events, fashion, volunteering, different things. So I'm always busy during the day, and then at night, once I rest a bit, then I can read. Because of course, I usually say that 3 things can be wrong with you and you should read. You cannot be hungry and you should read. You cannot be feeling sleepy and you should read, and you cannot be having a headache and you should read. Those 3 things are very important. If any of those 3 things is wrong with you and you say you want to read, you're just joking, because that book will not even enter at all. So if you're hungry, just eat. If you want to sleep, sleep. If you have a headache, do something, take a pill, and then rest. Then you can now say, okay, I want to read. So what are my unique strategies during examination is, okay, I do overnight. Then I also teach my friends, and when I teach my friends, it actually helps me to read better, because many times my friends can just send a DM that, okay, Favour, what's up, can you tell me or teach me about this topic or this course, I don't really understand it. And I'm like, okay, no problem, I'll teach you. Then I'll quickly go back, I'll read, gain 1 or 2 things, check online, read materials, and do a lot of reading, then go back to teach them. And guess what? Once I teach them, I don't forget. It helps me to remember everything that the lecturer taught, and it even helps my understanding. So I always read and teach people, and this helps me a lot, a whole lot. So once exams are coming, I'll do my personal reading, I'll jot, and then teach my friends as well, because many times my friends will text me and say, okay, Favour, please come and take me this course, come and take me that course. And once I teach them, it helps me a lot to understand. So when you read and you do not understand, reach out to any of your friends, reach out to your colleagues that can help you out. It helps a whole lot. Don't be shy. There's nothing like, I'm shy, I don't want to read, I don't want to ask anybody, they think I'm unserious. No, it is about you passing. It's not about what anybody thinks. It is about you passing. Now, sometimes even when you read, there's sometimes that your results come out and you are really, really very sad about it. The truth is, shit happens. Yes, many shit happen. And I also have experienced some kind of things that are very, very unpleasant in Unilag. I mean, everyone has had their fair share of, I don't even know what to call it, in Unilag. Everybody has had their fair share of unhappiness in Unilag, and I've also had mine. So you read, you think you even read, and when you write the exams and you come out, you're like, oh my god, I killed the exams, you did this, you did that. And at the end of the day, grades will come out and you'll be seeing a D or an E or even possibly an F, and you're like, what's wrong, what happened? What you just need to do is, okay, if you can reach out to the lecturer, probably you are very sure of what you have written, go back to them and talk to them. I mean, pleasantly. I have a very good relationship with all my lecturers, all of them. So once I see that something is wrong or I feel like I should have done well, I just go back to them and say, okay, where did I miss it? I'm going there not to fight them or not to claim right, but to ask that, okay, maybe I might have missed it somewhere, just cause of next time. So once unexpected result comes out, the only thing you need to do, aside going to your lecturers and ask, just go back to your drawing table and then try your best to even do better. I mean, if you fall, you need to rise again. I guess you will not just sit down and then be wallowing in your fall. So just get up and re-strategize and try to do better. Just ask, speak to people, tell them about it and get their opinion. Then go back and also read more and make sure that you are articulating your points well, because it's not just about reading, it's about writing what the lecturer wants to see. So it is okay to ask people in 300 level, 400 level who have experienced the department and know each lecturer that, okay, how does this lecturer like these particular questions to be answered? There are some of my lecturers that don't even like your own opinion. The way they give it to you in their classes, that's how they want you to return it back during exams. That's copy and paste. The way they give it to you in class is the way they want it back during exam. So that kind of lecturer, there's no need writing extra, there's no need trying to prove what is known. Do you understand? So it's just better to give to the lecturer just the way they want it. So when you get into the department, ask about these lecturers. Okay, what does this doctor like? What does this professor like? Well, some lecturers like freestyle. Some of my lecturers like that you give them what they gave you in class during lecture. You also put your own ideas just to be sure that you actually understand the course. Do you understand? So it's very, very important that you understand this lecturer so that you can give it to them just the way you want it, and you realize that you pass easily without any issues at all. So my academic secret, okay, to be honest, I work really well under pressure. I like to have more than one thing that I'm doing. If I just say that, okay, I want to sit down and face my academics full time, I doubt if I will do well the way I am doing well. I actually work under pressure. I like it that, okay, when I know that I have this thing to do, I have this thing to do, I have this thing to do, then I combine everything together and create time for each. Strategize and, okay, how do I go about this one? How do I go about that one? Then I make sure that I follow the way I have strategized. So I always make sure that whatever it is I'm doing doesn't affect my academics, and I must make sure that nothing is lagging behind. So I think the secret to my academics well-being is actually working under pressure. So I have this, I have that, and then I make sure that, okay, nothing is lacking at all. Like I said, I don't miss classes. I don't joke with my lectures at all. I don't joke with them. Then I read, and then when I'm reading, I jot, I write down, then go back to reading again and again. And to be honest, I must say one thing I have, one lucky charm that I have, is that I actually understand easily. I understand easily. I can just read once and I will understand. So some people have to read 2 times, 3 times. If you know you're like that kind of person, start your reading early. Don't wait for exams to be 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away before you start reading. Read early. In fact, if you can read after each class, read. Go back to it after you must have read, because there's probability that you might forget or you might not even understand at the first reading. So go back to it, read again. If you don't understand, you can ask your classmates. You can go back to the lecturer if the lecturer is friendly, and if not, you can ask people who have already gone through that lecturer before. 300 level student, 400 level student, 200 level student, and 500 level student, as the case may be. So my superpower must be working under pressure, and also the fact that I teach other people. You know, I always teach people. And another thing I can say is I have this photographic kind of memory. I always write during classes. I write a lot, and I read my notes as well. I read materials, I read textbook, but I do not joke with my notes. So whenever I'm reading, I read my notes, and sometimes in the exam hall, if I try to remember something that I might have forgotten, if I close my eyes, I actually see my notes. I don't know how it happens, and it's not all the time anyway, but sometimes, and that's why I do not joke with my notes. My notes is standard. My notes is my baby. My notes is always up to date, and my handwriting is so beautiful. So I don't joke with my notes at all. If I go for class, I must make sure I write. And that notes, I read them so much. In fact, I read them that up to the extent that when I am in the exam, or if I probably forget something, I can just close my eyes and as if I'm meditating. And sometimes, of course, not all the time, I see my notes. I see the place where I am trying to remember. I don't know how that works, but I think if you have a photogenic kind of memory or so, but I don't really know how it works. And it's not all the time. It is not all the time, just once in a while. Then how I manage to blend my academics with my social life and other things that I do. I have been really involved since I was in year 1 in my department. I joined committees. In year 1, I was in different committee. In year 2, I was the Assistant General Secretary of my department. In year 3, I moved ahead to being the President of my department. I also volunteer. I do a lot of volunteering work. I'm a Red Cross member. I volunteer for for events inside Unilag and even Unilag itself, that is convocation, ushering, a lot of things. I also usher, and I also do event coordination, event planning, and anything events. I'm really into a whole lot of things, but I make sure that I balance everything. Nothing must lack behind, or nothing must affect the other. So even if you want to be involved in a lot of things, make sure that you have the capacity to balance everything well. Some people cannot manage social life and academic life. So if you know you cannot do that, face your academics. If you know you can do other things alongside academics, that's fine. That's no problem. People do it and they come out well. But if you know you cannot balance everything up, don't do it. Don't try. Don't take too much things, and then in the long run you see that one is affecting the other. I have always merged a lot of things together, and it has always worked for me. So it doesn't mean that because it works for me, it works for you too. I'm just that kind of person that does really well under pressure. So it doesn't mean that because I do well under pressure, other people will do well under pressure. No, it doesn't work that way. So just know your body type and work by it. Some people don't like overnight reading. I have friends who don't do overnight reading. They read during the day, and that's what works for them. So if reading during the day works for you, if you love your sleep, please read during the day when you have time. So don't say, no, my friends are reading overnight, to me, so I must read overnight. No, reading overnight doesn't make you serious. Some people go for overnight in classes and faculties, and they don't even read anything. They go there to sleep. So if reading overnight works for you, do it. If you have to read 2 to 3 times before you can understand, do it. If you have to start reading early, you should start reading early. read early. Immediately after each courses, read. Don't get tired of reading. Take breaks, of course, when necessary, and do other things, do other fun things, because me, I'm a fun lover. I like enjoying myself. I like being involved. I like anything that has to do with activities. I like being involved. I like to be involved. I like to participate in things that interest me. So if you're that kind of person, of course, get involved and do things that make you happy, because the most important thing is to be happy. I really hope this video has been able to help you into doing one or two things, because these are the things that work for me. If you have any questions, of course, there will be platforms to reach out. Just know what works for you. That's what I would say. Know yourself and know what works for you, and then that way you can blend into anything. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.